Hello and welcome and welcome and hello and hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Thank you for tuning in to Un Poco Mas, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Of course, I would be getting a phone call right as the show begins. Let me put that on hold and say hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Guys, it is, what the hell is it? I lost my train of thought. It's Wednesday. January 18, 2024. It is, I don't know, 12 something, 12:23 in the PM out here in beautiful, crisp, sunny Los Angeles. The SOFI stock, shocker, it's down a quarter on the day, right around 750. It's been trading right around 740 most of the day, making a little bit of a comeback. We saw a huge candle in there a little while ago, about an hour ago. 2 million shares traded there. I haven't had time to look at exactly what's going on, guys. I've been extremely busy this morning. But I did want to touch base with you guys because there's just so much going on with the stock. Let me pull up my browser. Let me share my screen with you freaking turds. It's like you guys won a contest. You get to share my screen, all my thoughts, all my ideas. I'm writing an autobiography. It's going to be about all of my experiences. Hello and welcome and welcome and hello, guys. I am in my bunker just outside of Decatur, Alabama. I have been working hard, crunching numbers. I haven't come up with much, but guys, there is some thick, thick FUD being spread about. And, you know, I'm reminded of something. It's like sometimes, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can just take something that's already very profitable and you can do it better. You can do it more efficiently. And in fact, that's actually the smarter way to build a profitable business. It's very, very difficult to invent a new sector, to sort of reinvent the wheel a la Tesla. They kind of blazed a trail into the EV sector that really nobody else was doing at scale. And it's very, very difficult to blaze a trail. Some of you guys that are more on the fit side than old Danny Deals probably know about hiking, um, snowshoeing, this type of thing, cross country skiing. It's very difficult to blaze a trail because you're putting a lot more effort into breaking that sort of natural terrain that's in front of you, whether it be snow or jungle or some type, anything that's loose and not compact. Over time, enough people go over it in front of you, it becomes a trail and you don't have to blaze a trail anymore. It's a lot less effort. It's a lot, it goes a lot faster. So the FUD that I'm talking about, guys, and a lot of you guys probably saw Tannor from Future Investing. I saw Tannor. I love it when Tannor gets a little bit angry and fired up, and he actually went through and just sort of dismembered this article by Gary J. Jordan over on Seeking Alpha. It's a strong sell he put out. He's never rated the stock before. He just came out right now. Again, it's an odd time because you'd think ratings or earnings are just over a week away. If you've never covered the stock at all, um, you just sort of think you'd wait and you'd rate it after the ER. It's just the timing's very odd. It was like the Pareto downgrade on January 2nd when almost everybody in his industry is probably on vacation. Most people aren't there to trade it. It induces max panic, it induces max damage. And if you look at the chart, guys, the ripple effect of that call is still there's the daily, guys. There's that candle at 2:12 p.m. Sorry, is it the 17th? I keep saying the 18th. I think I have my stream mislabeled. I thought it was the 18th. Oh god, I'm an idiot. Um, is it the 17th or is it the 18th? It is the 17th. Holy crumbum. Let me just edit that for you. Um, Danny Deals, why would you listen to somebody who doesn't even know what day it is? Very good question, folks. Run like hell. Get out. It's like that movie where the old white rich people were like taking the bodies of black young men that their daughter was dating, and I don't know. It's very weird. Is that one of that Jordan Peele movie, Get Out? I think. Pretty good movie, but just very strange. But anyway, guys, hello and welcome. Sorry, this has been a very disjointed introduction, but you can see kind of what's going on here. This is this is the second here where the stock just starts to fall off a cliff, and it hasn't really stopped. So that's the ripple effect of the parrots downgrade. It's like it started, and then what happens, it's not just the downgrade, because nobody cares, nobody on earth cares what Michael Perito from Coyette Boyette and buttplug, whatever that analyst house is called, like, nobody cares about what he says. But the problem is it becomes like a ripple effect. First, there's all these fake, like, news wires that just print these articles over and over again on every website. And let's face it, guys, our brains don't work right. We're like hamsters on crack. So instead of doing proper research, we're clicking around on all these stupid websites and YouTube, just listening to a bunch of idiots. You don't know if they have any qualifications. You don't check out their bona fides. You don't, read up on their resume. You don't voir dire their qualifications, like Wolves on dead center. Hey, what's up, guys? It's Oprah's Wet Cave. Good to see you. Please save us. I'm trying, Sebastian. J Mac, what's up? Oprah, D-Bag, Oscar, Russell, how you guys doing? Welcome and hello, and welcome. Versa Tennis Clips, how you doing? J Mac, it's the Fat Tennis Ninja coming at you. Not a Lurker is here. Hello and welcome, Not a Lurker. Anthony Walker, Roshan, JLK, good to see you guys. Who gave a strong sell? Yeah, he's got good qualifications. I mean, I just wonder, like, it says at the bottom he was only compensated by seeking alpha, but the article is just so bad. I'm not going to try to go through it. Like I said, Tannor went through it for like a half an hour and just dismembered it with data. That's what you always see with the bears. This guy incorporates data, but in sort of just either a completely disingenuous, or his logic just took the day off that day. But he's talking about how SoFi is constrained because the industries that they're in are not growing. And I was just looking at, like, the size of the banks, visualized. It basically says, I don't know what happened to this thing. It's here. Um, there was this graphic up here. I don't know what the hell happened to it. Right here. So if you add this up, guys, just in 2023, the top 100 banks had market cap of 5.4 trillion. If you start to look at this, map of these banks, you start to see, like, the frontline banks, by assets. I mean, this isn't by deposit, this by assets. 3.3 trillion. Um, so you saw the market cap, but this is the assets. So it's just two different ways of looking at the size of these banks. But even by market cap, so SoFi's market cap is under 8 billion, and the 100 largest banks add up to 5.4 trillion. So SoFi is a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of 1% of the market. So they can grow without these industries actually growing. And that's just, this guy makes this weird argument about supply and demand because it sounds logical. It sounds simple. It sounds like it makes sense. But if you read it, it just absolutely does not make sense. And he's saying, demand, what are the growth rates for the products that SoFi is competing for? Supply, what does the competition for these products look like? Again, guys, if you want to go through the details of this, check out Tanner's video. I want to cover a few other things because it's just such bullshit. Like, these options, obviously the calls are getting killed. Everything from 750 on up is basically completely dead. The volume at 750 is huge, coming in at 30,000 contracts. As far as the puts, again, volume huge, coming in at 750, 28,000 contracts. And we see a very unusual sort of options chart here. If you take a look, max pain 750, the stock's been stepped down from 850 to 750 over the last 4 days in 25-cent increments. So it's just all too cute, guys. I mean, look at the 5-day. It's like, okay, so we're right up, if you look past here, we're right at 850, steps down basically to 825, perfectly right there, steps down to 8, perfectly right there. 775, because there's some variance because there's money coming in and out of the stock, but 775, then just huge dump here, down to exactly 750. So the guys, this is all pre-programmed. It's all set up. It's funded with a huge amount of money, and they've disposed of a lot of options, and they are absolutely dead bulls on Max Payne so far for Friday. You see the stock trading right now just jumped up to around 750. Max Payne exactly 750. This is the open interest. Don't pay too much attention to that. This is the volume for 119. These are never identical like this. This is basically like the market being fixed. Like this time there was a lot of hedging. The market makers were not going to take a big bath either way. So um if you follow these charts, this is just extremely unusual. I've never seen the SoFi options chart look like that in my life. So anyway, guys, Max Payne, you can see it here on a dollar basis, what would be left on the table. Probably slightly under $7.50. Hello and welcome, anybody who's here. Hello and welcome. What's up, Tiff? What's up, Maria? What's up, Butthole Jenkins? What's up, Lee Armstrong? She tokes my chicken. Boy, you guys are creative. Columbiana Kingpin, you guys are here. C-Bar, Ben, M. Russo, Roshan. Tiff, Bobby Joe's here. Not a lurker, of course, Beach Boy. Matt Flo's here. What's up? Good morning or afternoon, I should say, Matt Flo. Anybody else who's here? Oscar, Breadbag, I can't say hello to everybody, but Philip, normally but I imagine this would happen. Yeah, I mean, Philip, I know it seems like ER is like right upon us, and it is, but the way this stock moves is just totally insane, guys. I mean, look at look at the move down. 1028 was, 1228 2023. So it's only been 2.5 weeks since then. And the stock has come down like $3. I mean, for no apparent reason, based on a KBW downgrade. And then you start to get into that. And I was like, I do like to post like short data, borrowing data, and there's some like total insane people online. They're like, if you think that's true, you're insane. I'm like, I'm not trying to editorialize on it. I'm just telling you what the data is. It's reported by the exchanges. So I was like, hey, they net borrowing was 13 million yesterday, and a lot of these guys, they just have some kind of, I don't know if it's mental problems, they just go insane. But I'm looking at it again. It popped up to 15 million net borrowed yesterday. And then if you look at today, guys, just at the same point, like they had returned, quote unquote, this was overnight. They borrow a ton, they return a ton. There's all these, sort of fixed transactions where, they're selling basically off exchange and they're agreeing to buy. And so I'll show you one in just a minute. But basically, they were returning 5 million shares, and then this just popped. So it's just basically almost neutral on the day. Net borrowed change less than a million. So 15 million yesterday, less than 1 million today. So in the last, basically this week, which is Tuesday and Wednesday, net borrowing has been 14 million shares. Thank you. I do not have any coffee, not a lurker. I already had my 2 cups, and I shan't have any more. Because that's what the doctor said, 2 cups maximum. So that's what we're gonna do. I know, Lee, but for no reason. So that means if the ER is good, and even before the ER, we can go way back up. But I was just again gonna touch on just very, very quickly a couple of these things fully online. SoFi's demand challenge. Its organic growth, the student loans are shrinking, and then this chart doesn't show personal loan growth rates are shrinking, but he says that anyway. It grew only 3%, so that's not a pot. And then the most like sort of absurd part of it is he attacks bank deposit growth rates. And SoFi is growing bank deposits at an extremely rapid rate. And he argues, of course, they're just paying for it, so it doesn't matter. But other banks like the bigger ones, and you can see them here, other banks that are paying high interest, such as American Express, they're paying high interest. They're basically all online. Allies, they're not as high as SoFi Ally, but also what's another one that's Discover Bank is also online. I don't know how big Discover Bank is. I don't know if they're as big as Bank of America. It looks like they are not right up here at the top. Sorry, guys, this is a little bit hard to discern in real time, all these bubbles. I don't know if anybody sees Discover on here. Oh, there they are. Of course, way down at the bottom. Couldn't see them. 131 billion in assets. So, they're SoFi. This was in the middle of last year. SoFi is not even on this chart yet. They would be, if it was today, they would be just one of these tiny circles down here, like 16 billion in assets. But these other banks like Discover that are paying that like 4.5 rate, very similar, and even in some cases slightly higher than SoFi, they are not growing deposits at the rate SoFi is. And of course, they're much, much larger. You get into the rule of large numbers, it's much harder to grow at the same rate. But if my aunt had a package, she would be my uncle. Like, it is what it is. SoFi is tiny, so they have a huge amount of room to grow. That is not a bad thing. If you look at, what a top 10 financial institution is, Noto's never saying, hey, we're going to be the next Chase. We're going to be bigger than Chase. We're going to put Chase out of business. Yeah, maybe in a couple hundred years, but guys, come on. When you're talking about a $7 billion market cap, you're talking about sales in the, probably hopefully this year, 2.7, 2.8 billion if we do really, really well. I mean, SoFi is just a tiny, tiny company. Tiny. We're getting in on the ground floor. We're getting in at a great multiple. And the arguments these bears make are getting, I think, more desperate and illogical, just trying to spread enough confusion to make, an X look like an O, make up look like down, and when it goes to the deposits, I mean, this is absurd. Up until consumer deposits grew by 6% a year, not bad, and then they're falling. Next few years will be well below 6%. It cannot be said that SoFi is operating in growth businesses. That's why the average bank PE ratio is about 9 or less than half the. God, I mean, come on, guys. SoFi's just grown over the last, 2 years. Their bank deposits like 20-fold or something. Come on. Yeah, exactly, Daniel Barna. Live chat with Uncle Bruce. Bring him on or bring me on or whatever. I just caught a little bit of Uncle Bruce a few weeks back. I think they will, Lee. Look at the news today. I mean, that's another thing I want to talk about. Sorry, I'm so all over the place, but the fact that SoFi is coming into this multi-trillion-dollar industry and they're barely a couple billion-dollar company is not a bad thing. Okay? The fact that banks get low multiples, it's because they're shrinking. Okay? I mean, I don't know where I had it, but there was you know, US banks report 872 billion year-on-year drop in deposits. That's the guy's argument that because they're reporting an overall drop in deposits that SoFi can't grow when the evidence is suggesting the exact opposite. I don't know how these people sort of make such just blatant bullshit and serve it up as some kind of logical analysis, and I guess stupid people are just easily confused and you just don't think about it. But you're like, if SoFi is a tiny fraction of 1/10 of 1% of the industry, and SoFi can grow at, 20 some, maybe even 30% forever and not even put a dent in the industry, that's a good thing. We're not going to overtake Chase, guys. We're not going to even be the next Chase anytime soon. Chase is the biggest bank in the world. We are an infant. What if we could be the next Discover and get 130 something billion? That would be great, guys. Of course, they don't have a tech stack. And he talks a lot about, the competition is every single bank with a charter. The bank charter is not a competitive advantage. However, again, it's disingenuous because he's not taking into account the whole of the company, the technology side. I mean, the bank charter is a big advantage for the technology side. And if you're going to value SoFi as a bank, then you have to talk about all the money that the owning the tech stack is saving SoFi internally, which, they were talking about that number would be 80 to, I think, $100 million on an ongoing basis after the next couple of years. So, what are we talking about here, guys? What's really going on? Um, what else? What the hell else did I want to talk about? I can't really remember. We're making a nice little move here through 750. Volume is again coming in. Again, guys, I always say 40 million, mid 40 millions, 50 million is just perfectly bullish volume because, you know, if the volume is very low, there's just no money coming into the stock. It's easy for the algo to control things and cheap. If the volume they get stupid high, like 80 million, 100 million, they're high frequency trading and they're just bullying to control the stock price and push it up or down, of course, generally down. But if we see a day like today, yes, the algo's working hard, but there's a lot of variance in that volume and there's some huge orders coming in. If you're trying to hold this thing at max pain at 750 for the next 2 days, it's going to get expensive, guys, because again, 7 trading days left to the ER. That the next week is going to be absolutely full of hype. I mean, there is going to be so much hype, so much hopium, so many. I can't even. You morons are going to buy so many short short calls for next week. I love you guys, but you're just stupid. SoFi business loans. That's what I want to talk about. Thank you, Bobby Joe. Thank you, Bobby Joe. Bobby Joe, thank you. Thank you, Bobby Joe. What about my bid for a big thank you for Bobby Joe? Welcome and hello, guys. Hello and welcome and hello to anybody joining us late. It's Danny Deals, your old buddy. Um, Guys, first, before we say anything else, a couple of housekeeping matters. Let me say welcome and also greet you warmly and say hello. Business loans in full force. Yeah, guys, and this preludes, I don't know. You guys remember the Honda Prelude? What a cool car. I really wanted one of those when I was a teenager, but alas, we were but poor working folk, and I had to save up for my piece of shit primered Camaro. But I love that Camaro. When I bought it, I thought it had a 350 in it. Turns out it was a 305. I was just a fat teenager, didn't know nothing about motors, and wasn't smart enough to have my dad take a look at it because he probably could have told me. But in any case, Danny Deals, yeah, Boom Foco Moss. What's going on, guys? What's up, Doofus Rufus? What's up, Philip? Bull on Parade is here. Aaron is here, Lee Armstrong, and of course, Not a Lurker, who holds me down, tells me to drink water and breathe. Oh my God, Not a Lurker, I'm out of tap water. What do I do? My electrolytes have been low, so I've been drinking this tepid Powerade for like a week. Then one of my carpenters left here, I guess, because I don't buy Powerade. Generally try to stay away from the sugar, but have not been feeling well, and that little electrolyte sugar boost is just what the doctor ordered. Dr. Danny Deals, who, of course, is not a doctor and has absolutely no qualifications whatsoever. Nice, Jazor. I think a lot of us did because those cars were dirt cheap back in the 90s. There's a lot of them floating around. Mine was a real piece of shit, but I love that car. Called it the Gray Ghost. Anyway, guys, so SoFi bolsters its breadth of financial services, products, and offerings to help Americans find the small and medium business financing they seek, and SoFi launches Small Business Financing Marketplace. So basically, this is going to be a place where people who need funding for their small businesses can come and see everything on offer from SoFi and SoFi's partners. And it's going to be basically, this is going to be, sort of a loan clearinghouse for small business. And SoFi being SoFi, I think they are going to get the members a better deal. I think this is basically just another. I don't see this as like a huge thing. I really do want to see business banking, as several of you have mentioned, but I think it's just another arrow in their quiver, another weapon in their arsenal, another technique at their disposal that they're going to be able to bring in more members. If you come in and you give somebody funding for their small business, they're far more likely to do other things with you. Getting people on the wheel is not all equal. Just if you bring somebody in with, say, money, or somebody who's not somebody who's not bringing in any revenue, to me, that's not the same as somebody who's coming in and refining a student loan, somebody who's direct depositing. I want to focus on those quality members, grow those quality members, not just, I think looking at member data is just far too overdone. We should be looking, again, of course, we are looking at profit, but also deposit growth, I think, is far more indicative of the, extremely solid growth of the company than member growth, because bringing in people is just one thing, but that's not the same as bringing in revenue. And SoFi revenue growth has been very, very strong of late. Um, did the bologna sandwich throw out another? Did the bologna sandwich just throw out a re-rate? That's That wouldn't shock me at all. Not sure if that actually happened. Let's take a look at old tip ranks. But it's just also another kind of interesting thing to talk about. But I was just going to mention, like, guys, 15 million shares, and you see the same thing. Like, I'm not making up this data, guys. This is on Fintel. If you look at, 116, which was yesterday, FINRA short volume 8,132,000. Okay, PSX BX 124 aggregate short volume 8.257 million. Aggregate total, aggregate short volume ratio 52.36. I mean, I didn't make this stuff up, but and I don't this is not indicative of the exact amount of shares shorted or borrowed. These ratios are compiled. But if you just look back, guys, to 12/18, December 18th, the short ratio was 24.5, and then it was 30, 30, 37, 29, 27, 28, 27, went up to 36, 37, then 40s, 44, 41, 42, 41, then 50, 46, 55, 49. So you see the desperation in these numbers. You don't have to be some kind of analyst or mathematician or Goodwill Hunting or fucking Doogie Howser to know that in, less than a month, going from a short ratio of 25 to over 50 is a big fucking increase. It's a big fucking deal, as Diamond Joe Biden is wont to say. Got that diamond tooth. I don't know. I just like saying Diamond Joe Biden. I find it funny. It reminds me of the guy from Simpsons. What was that guy's name? Mayor Quimby, who's always like, Steve. It's just funny. Um, anyway, guys, yeah, The Accountant with Ben Affleck. That was really kind of a stupid movie. Like, I like the dad just beating the shit out of the kid because he's autistic. He has some big karate guy. Looks like he's straight out of Street Fighter, just beating the shit out of his children. I didn't really get that part, but I guess he was trying to harden him up. Um, is blog is the bologna sandwich buying the stock? I didn't see any re-rate, but anyway, guys. So these short ratios and aggregate short volumes, like, I'm not making them up. It's 11 million, 12 million, 8 million. It's just, you know, these numbers are what they are. And I'm like, hey, they borrowed 13 million shares yesterday. At least that's what Ortex is saying. And it's like, people post like some GIF of like whatever, and they're like, you're an idiot. I'm like, hey, man, data's the data. I mean, I guess you can disagree about what it means, but it is what it is. So I don't know. That's one of the things, like, with bears, is they really hate it when you bring up data. Like, you bring up an ER, you bring up the growth rates, you bring up the fact that, like, management is always sort of, sandbagging their numbers, and they actually do a bit better, and they actually keep raising guidance and then beating those guidance raises. So, and that's been in a tough higher for longer rate environment. They say none of these banks should do well in. And that's when you see, like, these guys, these big banks, like, if you talk about, the biggest, like, look at who he pointed to in that article, guys. He talks about, what do you talk about? Capital One, how much they spend on, he's like, okay, SoFi spends 500, 700 million on, technology, but he's like, Capital One spends way more than that. But Capital One total deposits, 367, and they lost 7.8% year over year, when SoFi is like, raising theirs by, 4x or whatever. So the guy just ignores the data of what's actually happening with SoFi and starts talking about the larger trends in the industry, and just sort of completely disingenuously, dishonestly, turdishly fails to talk about the fact that that's SoFi's whole fucking raison d'etre, or whatever, however you say that. SoFi's whole business model, their reason for being, is to take these guys out. The fact that these guys are losing market share and losing deposits is good for SoFi, you fucking assholes. What are you guys, dumb? What are you guys, dense? Retail's not dumping any shares down here. This is a circle jerk, man. I told you guys so many months ago, so many times, everything below 815 is bullshit. That whole dip below 680, no retail was selling there. And guys, look at what I'm talking about in terms of these institutional bullshit transactions and headlines you tend to see. So a couple days ago, I'm just giving you an example. Okay, here's SoFi. Okay, SoFi, just look at this one, guys. Okay, acquired by Jacob Asset Management of New York, 48,600 shares of SoFi. And then if you look at just a few days earlier, Raymond James Financial Services sells 48,600 shares of SoFi. Guys, these headlines can just be put up anytime. They don't mean anything, but they convince dumb people to set stop losses out of fear and move the market. Um, okay, so Axum planning. Every single day, more hedge traders come in. So Axis planning 153,000. Again, it's not a big thing, but Jacob, again, they bought those shares from Raymond James. It would seem like Paragon Wealth Management purchases 4,000 shares. Big fucking deal. I bought more than that a couple of, or last week or a couple weeks ago. Grows stock in SoFi Holdings. Wolf Magna reduces position. Usually when you see these reductions, they're very, very small. And again, guys, back to the analyst coverage. Deutsche Bank, very strong analyst. This market cap's been pushed down so far that Deutsche Bank, who's a hold on the stock, now has 47% upside. James Fotheringham, for God's sake, has 20% upside. Okay, even someone I would consider a SoFi bear, Kevin Barker, five-star Piper Sandler, he accidentally now has 13% upside on the stock. Of course, the five had the bologna sandwich. This guy still has 47% downside, the Chia Pet, etc. But guys who I would consider fairly neutral, these guys at 11, these five stars, Ashvin, Mark, these guys, even Mahir at Bank of America, now he's 33% upside on the stock. 33% upside is a strong buy, guys. 46% upside on a stock is a screaming buy. How are you at a hold with a 47% upside? Let's re-rate that shit. Let's get on it, guys. These guys are all getting haircuts. They're all getting hair plugs. They're all getting Botox. They're all having glamour shots done. The, you know, I'd love to go out and have a penis installment. I'd love to go out and get some Botox, but I don't have time. Guys, I'm here working for you. You're very welcome, Michael Hamilton. Thank you for winning all those Formula One races. Not a lurker. Hybrid valuation. Thank you, not a lurker. These guys always ignore that. And these guys always ignore the fact that management gave you a roadmap for the reboot on Galileo. They told you about that last year, and the reboot seemed to start to work Q3. And this fucking, this bullum-headed, like, what's going on with this guy? Like, this bullum-headed bastard. I'm sorry, I can't even say this stuff with a straight face. I have to go get more tap water, not a lurker. Oh, man. Now it's a party, motherfuckers. David Redlener is here. What's up, David Redlener? Good to see you. Okay, not a lurker. F1 comment funny. What's up, C-Bar? Good, thank you. I try to make. You guys probably haven't noticed, but I try to sprinkle in a little bit of humor into this show. SoFi stock is completely at the mercy of rate cuts. This is true and false. I mean, if you actually look at it, and AM always, God bless AM, he always posts, sort of the same comment on my videos. He's basically a little bit bearish. I mean, he's fair. He's like the Russian police. He's stern, but he's fair. He's stern, but he's fair. For all you Chris Pontius fans out there, um, I don't know if you like Chris Pontius like dancing in a thong in Japan. There might be something wrong with you. I'm very happy you enjoy the show, David Redlener. Maria Powell, Danny, funny, keep it up. I'm trying, Maria. I'm doing my best. I'm desperately crying out for attention. But guys, I don't even really know where I was going with this live stream. I want to get off of it, but I just think these arguments are so stupid. Where's this guy coming from? Like he's a retired financial analyst and he's never covered SoFi before, and he just comes out and he just, makes this argument. It's like SoFi's software company is pretty mysterious, at least for this non-tech savvy writer, and he just puts the description. That's all I have to say about it. Well, you didn't say anything about it. So as a responsible adult, as one of the adults in the room, what's this fucking guy's name? Gary Gordon. He reminds me of that Tesla guy, Gordon. What's that guy's name? JGL Research. He's like, Tesla is a busted growth story. They're never going to sell cars. They can't sell cars. He's like, hold on, my producers. Wait, they're selling cars. They're never going to make money. They're going bankrupt. He's like, wait, they have 18 billion cash. Hold on, they're making money already. It's like, okay, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna, you keep shorting Tesla, China. It's like, these guys, like, I don't know. It's just some people just fight with reality and they can't give up. And one of the most important things, guys, in stocks is like knowing when you're wrong and being able to be honest with yourself and being able to admit when you're wrong and, don't throw good money after bad and preserve capital and all that stuff. It's all accurate. But I just don't think that applies to SoFi. That's just my opinion. And it's very telling that I think the bearish arguments are so illogical and so disingenuous. I mean, financial services growth stories therefore require taking market share, which is seriously problematic. I don't know, guys. Again, look at the numbers, look at reality, and then look at this guy's sort of circular, illogical rhetoric, and you can decide for yourself if you think it's logical. The history of price or credit based market share strategies is not good. Robinhood, eliminating attrition was a bold move. The payoff, again, Robinhood's losing money to date. I can't argue with that. 38 IPOs turn into a $12 stock price at present. Well, SoFi has gone from 10, to 750. So SoFi doing incredibly better, but that's on the merits. I mean, SoFi is going to be making money here, heretofore, and from now on, from henceforth, forever and ever. Speak now or forever hold your wang, because SoFi is going to make money there. Gary Gordon or Jordan, whatever the fuck your name is. Um, Anyway, guys, if you look like you're wearing a tumbleweed on your head, you're going to hate the SoFi stock. If you got a nice, beautiful coif, a beautiful head of hair, like Anthony Noto, Tony Notes, you're going to love the SoFi stock. Me, Danny Deals, I'm a little bit frizzy because I didn't listen to Princess J and put in my leave-in conditioner today because I'm a big lazy turd and I got up very, very early because I had a lot of work to do. But guys, I'm shirking my duties right now to bring you this broadcast. Again, I got to get out of here. But anyway, AM, thanks for watching. I'm not hating, guys. Hey, there's room for all opinions, guys. A lot of very credible people are bearish on SoFi. And I think the credible argument is there is a lot of competition on all the financial services side, but if you have to talk about a company as a whole company. It's not fair to go, well, Microsoft isn't really competing on Microsoft Office anymore because Google's doing all that for free, so Microsoft is going to go out of business. But you ignore like their AI, you ignore their data, you ignore their cloud, you ignore all their current business, and that's kind of what he does. Like, well, student loans is shrinking, and they're going to keep shrinking, so SoFi screwed, and all these things are like, eh. And again, Tannor went over these strategy hole number one, and Tannor was pissed. I love that. Tannor was fucking pissed. Maybe it's because he's been, sick. I know all the future investing guys were sick last time. Maybe it's, he's moving, all this stuff. I know way too much about Tannor. But, he was fucking fired up. I love the broadcast. And that's when I was like, I put in the comments, I've been lurking the whole show, and I finally made a comment. And then all you guys are like, put Danny on SoFi Weekly, put Danny on. I'm like, shut up, guys. Let the man work. The guy's fucking on fire. He's like, usually, Tanner's so kind of just happy go lucky, kind of, goes through his show, provides great information. I love the show, but man, I loved seeing him just fucking pissed off, defending the stock, defending our honor. David Bologna's here. No more downgrades. Yeah, to be honest with you, I get the feeling that Wedbush has got some blowback on those like 6 rapid reiterations and downgrades and notes and bullshit grades from the Chia Pet. I think they might have told him to just kind of cool off on the SoFi stock and go back to his hole. But Bull on Parade holding 10K shares strong. Yeah, guys, I've added so many leaps. Oh, yeah. I mean, business account is far more important than gap net profit right this minute. But the market wants what it wants. Yeah, I mean, it's guys, it's AM. If you're long term like me, you plan to hold the stock at least a few years, whether you buy it at 650, 750, 850. I hope that's not going to matter that much because I think the price, the stock is going to continue to, or the company is going to continue to do well, and eventually the stock price will follow. I just look at it, guys. I look at EBITDA, the guidance for EBITDA, and then the items that negatively affect net profit that, don't affect EBITDA, you're going to outgrow those as you scale. And SoFi's just starting to scale. I mean, if you remember, guys, this company just 2 years ago was under a billion in sales, 990, 997, 1.5, 2.07. I'm looking for upwards of 2.8 next year. I'm looking for very, very solid top line growth. I don't think top line growth is going to slow at all. I think we're going to have to pay less for customers. I think this company's brilliant. And guys, I could get into a whole fucking spiel about SoFi marketing, SoFi branding, SoFi, because that's more what I understand than numbers and graphs. I'm more of an idea guy. I'm more of an overhead view. I like to fly over. I'm a flamethrower. I like to cause problems. I don't like to, provide solutions. I just like to, basically, I'm a big Karen. I'm a flamethrower. I like to, lash out at others. You know, it's what I do. Those of you who watch this channel know that. EBITDA, EPS, yeah, I mean, I go off of feelings. If it gives me a tickle in my pickle, I buy the stock, guys. And that's just what I do. If Anthony Noto can get one of those fucking windbreakers in 3XL, I will promise to pump the stock. And he's like, well, you already do that. I'm not paying you anything, and I'm not going to get you a special fat man windbreaker, so go fuck yourself. I'm like, I still love you, Tony. Call me. Reminds me of like Joe Flaherty trying to get like Shooter McGavin to go to Red Lobster. He's like, I'll be over the Red Lobster. And he's like, okay. He's like, anyway, guys, Happy Gilmore, highly underrated film. Carl Weathers, I can't remember the guy's name that was Shooter McGavin, but God, that was a hilarious movie. In any case, going to re-rate after the ER. Yeah, a lot depends on the ER, Bull on Parade. Let's see. I completely agree with you, but I just don't want to. Yeah, me too, Savage of Wall Street. Let's go. Let's get Noto on this. They're running the stock down. The earnings won't be able to run it as high. Well, I mean, it's not a matter of running it, guys. And I mean, that's the thing. This whole thing is all noise. It's all bullshit. The shorts will go away when institutions who are here for a long time and a good time start buying the stock in serious. It's not enough that, Aunt Kathy bought a million some odd shares. That's small potatoes, guys. Fucking Vanguard owns an absolute ton of shares. BlackRock owns a ton of shares. So many people own many, 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 many times what Kathy Wood owns, but she gets all the headlines. Everybody likes to talk about Kathy Wood and disruption. SoFi would be like the one smart stock she could pick, and people are like, well, is this like Tesla? No, it's not Tesla. Tesla had to blaze the trail. Tesla almost went bankrupt. It made a lot of sense at certain points to be short Tesla. I mean, I would have never short. I was long Tesla when it was almost bankrupt. But be that as it may, guys, this company is not going anywhere. The bearish arguments against it always make no sense. And this guy didn't even argue, sizable capital and financial resource required. This is where he says, Capital One spent nearly $4 billion on marketing last year to lose 8% of their fucking deposits. So what's your fucking point? What's your fucking point, asshole? What the hell is this? Um. All right, guys. Sorry, just had my paving contractor doing some work. Had some asphalt collapse from the rain. Got a bunch of guys over there. All kinds of shit going on today, guys. But I'm talking to you, fruits. What the hell? What the hell is wrong with me? How much time do you got? Let's not start pulling at that thread, or the whole Emperor's clothes starts to unravel. I wore just because I'm keeping calm today, guys. I wore my soap check. Calmer than you are, dude. He's like, am I wrong? He's like, am I wrong? He's like, wrong, Walter. You're just an asshole. Well, thank you very much. Um, Asphalt. Alberto Berti, the artist formerly known as Not a Lurker's haircut was here. Gentlemen, start your pile dancing. Guys, I don't really have that much else to say. I can't really read this article. This article is just stupid. You must develop best. He's talking about how everyone is a competitor who's a bank. No company's better positioned. And then he goes into Rocket Company, Upstart, Robinhood. None of these companies are competitors to SoFi. None of them do what SoFi does. None of it's really applicable. It's not comparing like apples and oranges. it's almost comparing like apples and elephants. Summing up, sell this stock and the risk to shorting. On the one hand, there's the disruptor theme pitched by management and desperately believed by money looking for the next monster tech story. On the other hand, this is reality of slow demand and abundant supply. I recommend reality. There are two main risks to my short thesis. This is like where it gets just absolutely like cockily absurd. Like, investor speculation that self-proclaimed disruptors will deliver as promised. Dreams die hard, so it's reasonable to inspect. So he's basically saying like SoFi bulls are so stupid and so unrealistic that, they might drive the price of the stock up despite what a complete piece of shit the company is. Whoa, what a great argument. And then here's the other douche. Let's see what the other douche component of this douche thesis is. Sorry, Gary. I'm sure Gary's a good guy, but he just strikes me as, it's writing like that last pair. He strikes me as kind of an a-hole, but I don't know. I don't know the guy. I'm sure he's a good family man. The other risk that supply demand thesis is wrong, that SoFi somehow creates a differentiated and profitable market niche, which they kind of already are, with product categories as commoditized, a substantial amount of competition for these products. That seems highly unlikely. But again, you're ignoring the reality in front of your face that they already are growing. Um, Again, you're talking about this kind of like Capital One, but Capital One is absolutely losing their ass. I mean, Goldman Sachs grew slightly, but then you talk about, okay, what other fintechs, who offer backbone in the banking sector, backbone in general financial services, which one of those software companies has a banking charter? And on that basis, it matters a great deal. But they just completely ignore that. Management's telling you, the tech side is going to grow, going to contribute more and more to profit, that they're, have a very good shot at landing some of these more lucrative, larger contracts. And the analysts, again, just like, hey, we don't want to hear that. This doesn't fit our narrative. So I'm like, I'm trying to listen to the bearish part, and there are some bearish problems on SoFi. They have a lot of exposure to unsecured loans. The student loan market, while unknown, looked very good last quarter. It surprised a lot of people to the upside. So why is he saying because the overall student loan market's shrinking? I mean, do you guys know the size of that market? SoFi does not have to capture a great deal of the overall market. And he's talking about, the competition for personal unsecured loans. But I read in a reputable source just the other day that SoFi is capturing 25% of the ultra premium credit consumer. Not the premium, not the 750s, but we're talking like the 800 and above, the one percenters, the young one percenters. SoFi is capturing a huge percentage of those ultra premium customers, bringing them onto the wheel. Again, nah, we just ignore that. So that's fine. All the cool kids want to be cool, but not that cool. He definitely looks like he's on a rant. I'm trying. I'm trying to control myself, not a lurker. Kareem's watching on 1.5x to catch up. Brian, do you have Bloomberg? Yes. I don't personally subscribe, but I have access to it. I don't have a terminal. Let's see. Anything below 8. Josh Bailey's a buyer below 8. I agree with you. Doing the bull dance, feeling the flow. It's circular. It's circular. It wants to go home, Happy. Send it home. It's like, why don't you want to go home? You're too good for your home. Draft a press release. Happy Gilmore's off the tour. He's like, I don't want to fuck him. Let's keep him around. He's like, he looks goofy, weird. Probably got a huge schlong. He's like, Victoria, looking like that. We're live. He's like, oh shit. I didn't realize you were live. I thought I was thinking in my head. Everybody immediately, every gorgeous young woman wants to have sex with Adam Sandler. When you're Adam Sandler, like Jennifer Aniston is like your ugly alternative girl. You're just going after like a Brooklyn Decker type. I'm a retired dentist from Florida. You must be a supermodel with huge natural breasts. I'm sure you're instantly attracted to me due to my funny jingles and songs. Oh, this is my friend, platonic friend, Jennifer Aniston. She's like my ugly chick. And, it's like, Jesus Christ. He must write this. And I love Adam Sandler, but fuck, some of those plot lines, it's like, it was more believable when he was like the gay fireman with Kevin James. They're pretending to be gay and get like domestic partner benefits. I don't know what that one was called. Horrible movie, and he's had to grab what's her name, Justin Timberlake's wife's boobs or something. That's all I remember about it. It's like they feel right. He's like, yeah, icky. Just so bad. If we're past $20, okay, Alex, I'll take you up on that since I don't have anything to lose. Nota clause, Ken Griffin, 4.9. Million SoFi, what are the chances? Not a lurker. Guys, I gotta get off this live stream. I really haven't had anything to say for the last little while. Did the stock close at past 1 o'clock? Jesus. It's 1:12. God, I have no idea how long I've been talking because against this white screen, I can't see the time this thing's running, so I have no idea what the fuck's going on, guys. I don't even know if it's day or night. Anyway, guys, hey, thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys watching. Thank God you're allergic to Percocet. We should all be. Guys, SoFi stock down 19 cents on the day. Volume again bullish, 41 million shares. We saw some very big orders coming in there at the end of the day. Let's check on the one day and just see what we're doing. Yeah, pushing up very nicely. Had some big sells kind of fighting for 750. I don't know, guys. Are these guys going to this is what perplexes me. This is what keeps me up at night. They stepped it down from 850 in 25-cent increments to 750 in 4 days. Neat as can be. Signed, sealed, and delivered. They're killing the options. They're right at max pain. So why would they drive it down to 6? Who benefits? I know the shorts could cover, but to get down there, you have to dump or short. I mean, so I don't see any benefit in going any lower than this. I thought 815 would hold. I think anything below 815 has been a fugazi. I don't think any retail's dumping down here. Institutions aren't dumping down here, and institutions are buying. So all this is high frequency trading, guys. You know how this works. They can just put tons of shares on bid and tons of shares on ask, and they keep making the number lower and lower. And anybody who wants to bid higher or sell higher, they're just swallowed up by the monster. You can't compete with churning 80 million shares, with your little 2-cent fucking 2-bit, douchey orders. What do you? I'm going to buy a fractional share of SoFi. If you can't afford a share of SoFi at $7.53, don't buy that fractional share. Invest in a Big Mac. You can't even buy a Big Mac for $7.50 anymore. It's inflation. You might be able to get special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions, a sesame seed bun, but they're not giving you the patties. You got to pay like $11.50 for a patty. You want fries? Go fuck yourself. You get a firm payment plan for them fries. You turd. You don't need fries anyway. Get the hell out of here. I'm like, oh, all right, sir. I just asked to use a restroom. You need to, make it a weight issue. Size discrimination. I'm going to be the Rosa Parks size discrimination. I'm going to put the system on trial. I can't sit in the front of the bus or the back of the bus because the seats are too small. I've had enough. I've had enough of all of you. Getting off this stream. Guys, I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday hump day. I don't know what the hell's going to happen, guys. You guys know that already. I'm just, I'm long SoFi. Love the stock. It is what it is. I didn't think they were going to push down this hard pre-ER, but the options made him do it. It's like the guy, the kid who's like doing drugs, and they show like the fried egg brain frying back in the 80s. Like, where did you learn to find these drugs? Like, I learned from you. It's like, I just don't see, coming into this stock that was a $10 offering. They're talking about, Robinhood was $38 IPO. We ain't Robinhood, guys. This company is going to be a free cash flow machine. It's going to make money for some time to come. I appreciate you guys joining me. It's un poco mas. It's Danny Deals for Hurricane Lopez and Stock Karen. Hope you guys have a great day. We'll talk to you real soon. Bye-bye.